Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Bwtm Sports Gaming. Right, going straight into this one, we're going to be talking about Brook versus Terence Crawford, and of course, Billy Joe Saunders against Martin Murray. I'm kind of bored of repeating myself to the point where I'm saying these things, they're happening, these events are happening in boxing, and you're like, well, I could see this coming. I remember when Brook met Crawford in America, and I was like, yeah, Brook in America. What's he in America for? Chasing a fight. And who's he chasing a fight against? Aha! He wants to get that fight with Terence Crawford. Fair enough. Good for Brook. But you know, I've been saying this for the longest while about Brook. I think that his performances have not been helped with the injury he sustained, first in the Golovkin fight, and secondly within the Errol Spence fight. For some reason, he can't seem to block right hands. Now, I don't know if he is partially blind in his eye. I don't know. But I would suspect that there's something not right there, because if you look at the fights subsequently after that, the punches he's been getting caught with have been punches that he would usually have avoided in his career, because, you know, Brook is fairly defensively. He's okay. As long as you don't back him to the ropes and he takes center of the ring, Brook is fine. But he kept getting hit with right hands all the time, and I was a bit concerned about the amount of right hands he was getting hit with. I'll comment in the house. Let's see. People in the house. My man, looking like a gangster from Grand Theft Auto tonight. DC Brooks, I'm going to talk about that. He took a couple of shots at Eddie. I'm going to talk about that. He took a couple of shots. He unloaded an entire barrel. LOL. Hello, Darren Jackson. Hello. I hope you're well, Mr. Jackson. Looking more and more like Haley. Oh, well, I'm not looking to look like Hay. Cornrows and do-rag. Now, do people wear the do-rag to cover the hair, to protect it? I'm in a situation where I need to get my hair done again. And by the way, just to mention on the subject of hairdos, my aunt was on BBC News recently because of her hairdressers. Yeah, so yeah, shout out to Luton and hairdressers. I will probably upload that video on YouTube. Anyway, so back to my point about Mr. Brook. It's ironic. Now, less than 6 months ago, I did upload the interview of myself and Eddie Hearn. It's ironic how that video I uploaded, and I was talking about, I'll replay, in fact. I was talking about Eddie Hearn, talking about Brook and his relationship with fighters. Now, Brook's been one of Eddie's, one of his strong fighters. You know, he's done pay-per-views with, he's done good business with Kel. But however, threw him to the lines against Golovkin, and then threw him into the lines again against Errol Spence. All these people that love to say, I'm signing with Matchroom, I'm signing with Matchroom. You have to understand, it's business. It's business. Absolutely business, right? Absolutely business. This is what it's about. Brook could have dominated 147 had he not been fed to Golovkin, in my opinion. Well, he could have done a lot better. Let's put it this way. Hearn was dancing around the ring like he was strictly come when Brook beat Porter. Now he's throwing under the bus. Proves promoters only care about you if you earn the money. Brook, Barker, and Froch, original Matchroom 3. Yeah, but okay, back to the point about throwing him under the bus. I actually asked Eddie, are you throwing Brook under the bus? I asked him in the interview, and he came out and said, oh, you know, I look after fighters that look after me, or I look after fighters that are assigned to me, or I look after fighters that are complete BS. Listen, Eddie is a businessman. It's about business. And he's an accountant first. Understand accountant's mind. Does this make businesses? Yes or no? Does this make money? Yes or no? So these people are suddenly coming out now and saying, oh, look what Eddie's done. I think a lot of you, to be fair, like to just cry about something every week. But the bottom line is, he's been doing it for ages. Wait, the Golovkin fight wasn't yesterday. The Golovkin fight wasn't yesterday. The Errol Spence fight wasn't yesterday. The fights that he's put guys in, daring to be great, promoted by Sky Sports and Matchroom, daring to be great. This has been going on for years. absolute years. So I don't know what all the big shock horror is. I think somehow there are people within the boxing world that think Eddie Hearn is like Jesus Christ. They're so far up this guy's ass. It's unbelievable. He's a businessman, right? He's a businessman who has been fortunate to have a father who's done very well in boxing, and has done very well in sports, may I say, with the darts. Yeah, he's done well, and he's been fortunate. But for some reason, people think that whatever Eddie says goes, and I'm not off that. Do you mean when he's speaking sense, he's speaking sense? But this is the same guy that looked us straight in the eye in an interview and said to us, Wilder Fury is not happening. The day of the fight, Wilder Fury is not happening. So if you can sit there and how many interviews do you have to watch this man to understand what this man is about? I'm not knocking the guy. It is what it is. His business. This is what he's doing. This is what it's about. This is what it's always about. It's what it's always been about, Eddie. I don't understand. I don't get it. What Eddie is promotion. You go to Eddie for promotion. But when you go to Eddie, I hope you can fight. When you go to Eddie, I hope you can fight and I hope you can stand strong. Because if you can't fight and you can't stand strong in your morals and say, you know what, I'm not taking daring to be great and get bashed up. I'm not going to do that. Do you understand? I don't get it. I don't understand. You got to remember also, these are the people that brought to you Wilder and Fury, Wilder and Joshua shouldn't fight until 2021. Barry Hearn. So you go so far up these people's asses and you don't understand what they're about. They don't care about the fans. They care about making money. That's what they care about. They don't give a damn about the fans. If they really cared about the fans, they would have got their egos out the way. They would have made Joshua versus Wilder. That fight would have happened. The Matchroom are 100% to blame for that Wilder fight that happened. 100%. And they should never be forgiven for that. You have to understand that. You look at their stable. I'm not knocking them. Look at their stable of fighters. How many fighters there are pay-per-view? And think just for 1 second. If they had actually played their cards right and got a decent matchmaker in and actually matched their fights and their fighters properly, you'd have a stable of pay-per-view fighters. Think about this for a second. You'd have a stable of pay-per-view fighters. You look how Warren built Josh Warrington. It's not about me hating. It's about look at the facts. How many fighters have you got that are pay-per-view fighters now? Brook was a pay-per-view fighter. Where is he now? Where's Brook now? If Joshua gets beat by Pulev now, if Joshua gets beat by Pulev now, that's it. End me. Well, it's it. It's more show than substance. When you look at Frank Warren's stable, you look at what Frank Warren's doing, he knows how to build fighters. I'm not so sure about this Dubois and Joyce fight. I still don't know about that. I think that's because they need a pay-per-view card. That's why that fight's happening. And Dubois got a 5-year contract. So if it goes wrong for Frank with Dubois, they can always bring him back. Frank knows how to bring people back. So it is what it is. And if Dubois does well, oh, great, fantastic. It's a win-win. It's a win-win. If Dubois loses, oh, you've got Joyce. If Joyce loses, oh, you got Dubois. It's a win-win for Frank in that sense. But somebody's going to have to lose in that, unless it's a draw. Somebody's going to have to lose in that fight. But it's not general Frank Warren stuff to do that stuff. So, looking at Kell Brook in that interview, I would like to know truly, if I was in a position to interview Kell Brook, I would have forgot about Eddie for a second. I would ask the question, why did you take that fight against Golovkin? Why did you move up 2 weight divisions to fight Golovkin? What was said to you? Just as the question asked, why did Dave Allen fight Luis Ortiz and Dillian White and Tony Yoka when those fights weren't good for his career? Why are you sticking guys that are clearly not ready for European Championship level fights in those fights? Why was it allowed for Dillian White to fight for 1,000 days and yet not have a WBC title fight? Why? Why? This question is why? Why? You're a great promoter, but you're not winning burst bids. And then you have the nerve to turn around and say, people have the nerve to try and put this guy in the same class as Don King. Are you joking or what? So when I look at the Kell Brook situation, I hope people look at the Kell Brook situation and not look at it as another interview, and actually look at it as, this is what we're dealing with. This is the man of who he is. This is what Eddie Hearn is, an accountant. That's what he is. That's what he does. But the guy is an accountant. Frank's warrant is a boxing man. Smoke and Mirrors is Matchroom. All the promotion's great, but when you actually look at the substance of the fighters they've got at their stable, and then how they look after those fighters, and anyone that signs with Matchroom, it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're Anthony Joshua, you're Kell Brook, or Joe Bloggs who just wins an area title fight, and you suddenly get a chance to fight for Matchroom, you will eventually get thrown under the bus. Just hope you can fight. Just gonna throw you under the bus. That is what's gonna happen to you sooner or later. That's a fact. You're gonna get thrown under the bus. Joshua did not have to fight Ruiz. He could have fought Trevor Bryant. But don't worry, I've got just the man to talk about that soon. So everyone wants to kiss the ass of this and kiss the ass of that. You know what? Kell Brook's had enough. I like the way Kell Brook was talking. He started talking with almost a West Indian twang when he was talking. Do you understand? It's like he's had almost enough. I've had enough of this nonsense. I'm not playing the game no more. But it's a shame, because you think about Kell Brook versus Crawford. Well, Kell Brook didn't fight Errol Spence or Golovkin. That would be a great fight. Now, where are we in 2020? I don't know if Kell Brook's eyesight is where it should be. I don't know. I can't say that for sure. I'm not medically qualified. But I know he's not seen that right hand. But there's one thing I will say here. You will see me say this. I am not convinced on Terence Crawford's chin. And I'm going to come back to you about this in a second. Do you remember last weekend when I was doing the breakdown for Teofimo Lopez and Lomachenko fight? And I said something about his amateur days when he was sparring with, what's the boys? We're sparring with Tank Davis. And I mentioned to you back then in that video, when I broke that video down, I said, if he's still training that same way, that when it starts getting on top of him, he doesn't know what to do. If you go back and look at the Lomachenko fight, and when Lomachenko actually started getting on top of him in terms of started landing punches, getting closer to him, Lopez didn't know how to respond. He said, started moving all over the place like this. So Lopez looks a great fighter when he's on top and in front. But when you start putting punches and putting the pressure on him, doesn't know what to do. And just like in that sparring session, when Tank Davis started unloading on him, wanted to let the big shots, Dad said, oh, no, we don't want any of that. And I don't think that, for me, everyone's rating Lopez like he's some great fighter. I'm sorry. I saw 4 or 5 rounds of a guy getting his head moving like this. That's not going to last, because you're taking a whole heap of shots. See, your defense is not that great. So whilst you may be able to blast guys out there and have punching power, I am not getting on the Teofimo Lopez and say, this guy's a great fighter now, because I didn't think Lomachenko was that great. I didn't think that. Do you understand? The guy was never undisputed, but then neither was Mayweather. So so there's balance there. Do you understand? But I think Mayweather's fought far better opposition. And as Mayweather said, he didn't get beaten his first or second fight. So congratulations to Lopez for what he's done. But I've never rated Lomachenko in a way that people rate Lomachenko. Do you understand? So I want to talk a little bit more, come back to this Brook fight. I don't rate Crawford's chin. And if you look at the way Brook puts his punches together, and you look at the way Anthony Yard puts his punches together, they punch the same way. They throw a right hand, they hurt you, then they pick another shot, then they pick another shot, then they pick another shot, then they pick another shot. I really hope that when he fights Crawford, he's got to throw caution to the wind. For the first 5 rounds, I don't want to see Brook on a back foot using the jab and trying to box Crawford. Forget that. He's got to, from first round, he's got to step to Crawford and land them big brownies on him early and hurt him, hit him and hurt him quick star. He's got to go in there and he's got to throw the kitchen sink at Crawford. Can he beat Crawford? Yeah, he can beat Crawford, because I don't rate his chin. I don't rate Crawford's chin. And he hasn't fought anybody that big that can punch with skill, the skill set of Brook. But the problem with Brook is there's a few things with Brook. When you back him up, he doesn't know what to do. The eye, if Crawford, and I know Bwtm and his team and Crawford are going to target that eye. Believe me, they're going to target the eye because that's the glaring weakness about Kell Brook. 147. What's his stamina like down the stretch? He had stamina problems at 147 when he was fighting guys like Carson Jones. So those things are an issue. Those things are an issue for him as well. So I really do struggle with this fight with Brook and Crawford, safety reasons, because I don't know if he's got full sight. Yeah, but on the upset of that, now if he were able to, if not even beat Crawford, but put in a really good performance against Crawford, is there a possibility that he could sign with an American network in the future? But if he signed with, who would he sign with in the future? How long is his deal with Matchroom? And he's saying he hasn't spoken to Eddie. So what's his deal like? I don't know. So there's some question marks there. But the fact that Sky don't think it's pay-per-view or pay-per-view worthy, these are the same Sky that said back in there that Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder was not pay-per-view either. Sky. If you don't believe me, go back to the Peter Fury interview I did. It's out. There's an interview that it says Sky didn't want Fury versus Wilder, so it was out there long before BT got onto it, right? So that was out there, Fury versus Wilder, that fight to be made. So I'm gonna push back a second, go back a second, and talk about something about it's not pay-per-view worthy. So Saunders versus Marty Murray is pay-per-view, is it? Or it's worthy, is it? Saunders versus Marty Murray. Wait, let me go back again. Wasn't it me that turned around and told you guys that Marty Murray's going to come back and fight again? Where's your sources? Where's your sources? What's going on now? Is Marty Murray not coming back to fight Billy Joe Saunders? But Marty Murray's retired. I said, no, he ain't retired. He's going to come back and fight again. He's going to come back and fight again. Now we flipping got Marty Murray versus Billy Joe Saunders. I was telling Cameron, I think the best fight now for Billy Joe Saunders would have been Chris Eubank Jr. Chris Eubank Jr., Billy Joe Saunders 2, and then the winner of that goes and fights Callum Smith. I mean, John Ryder's a better opponent than flipping Martin Murray. But you know what? I hope Martin Murray wins. I hope Martin Murray wins. I hope for one night Martin Murray just lets his hands go, comes straight forward against Billy Joe Saunders and gives it to him. I really do. Because it's poor matchmaking, right? But I hope Martin Murray does it. It's disgusting. But this is what the fight fans will accept. It's got to a point now. It's got to a point now where people are accepting. You see, you boxing fans allow this nonsense. You've allowed this con man to carry on, put you on fights like this. Saunders versus Murray. There's no money in Crawford versus Brook. But there's money in Saunders versus Murray. Wait, so Crawford's pound for pound number one. I sort of disagree with that one. I would probably say that's Canelo, based on moving up and down in weight and the quality of opposition he's fought. I would say Canelo is probably my pound for pound number one, to be honest. If I'm honest with you, right? So Saunders destroys him. Who does Saunders destroy? Mate, come on, mate. Darren, come on, mate. Talk sense. Who has Billy Joe Saunders ever destroyed? Bro, come on, man. At least if you're gonna talk reality, man. This ain't the Sci-Fi Channel, right? Don't talk that nonsense to me. He destroys him. Who's he destroyed? Who has Billy Joe Saunders destroyed? He didn't even destroy Lemieux. He did that with Lemieux or whatever he did. He didn't destroy him. Who has he destroyed? He didn't destroy Chris Eubank Jr. Who has he destroyed? Bro, come on. Stop it. Stop that kind of talk on this channel, man. Champ talk. Stop it. So let's see what's going on here. Let's see people in the room. Right, let's hear. Yeah, Ruben says 3 times now. First GGG fight at 160. Next Spencer 147. And now Brook, leaving Brook in with no TV. Well, that's just typical, isn't it? Yes, my brother Jermaine. Hope that you're well. Brook 3 buses under. Well, Hearn put Brook under a double-decker bus, then private hired a Laquette's coach to finish off the job. Oh, boy. Oh, dear me. Dear me. Walk on. Yes, what's going on, my brother? I wonder where his accountant's mind will be if Fury flattens the Golden Goose. Well, yeah. Well, I think they would have made enough people in boxing by then. Joshua, they're finished without Joshua. Well, you like to think so, but I don't think so somehow. It was great to see the fire was still under in Kell Brook in that latest IFL interview. Well, I'd have fire up my ass if I wasn't going to get paid the money I was deserved and I wasn't on pay-per-view. Yeah, I'd get fire up my ass too. The fire is burning, baby. Derek. You got to laugh, in you. You've got to laugh where a pay-per-view promotion starts with Derek. Halloween night. I just hope it is not a Halloween performance from Derek Chisora. Is Alan being thrown in by Eddie, or is Alan not willing to fight at his level because a loss there's more damaging than a loss to Yoka? Well, I don't know. He's been thrown under the bus already, so it's okay. Hearn will put his trousers down, get on his knees, and kiss Brook's ass if he wins. Beg him to come back. I would love Brook to win. I would love him to win. I'd love him to win. What do I think of Andrade, buddy? I can't wait to see him in there with Liam Williams. Liam is so improved. Okay, I think Andrade has told us all we need to know about Andrade. He's going up to super middleweight to fight a welterweight. That is it, really. That tells us all I want to know about Andrade. Gamboa's a featherweight, lit up with Crawford. Let's be real, he's tiny as well. That's what I'm saying to you. Oh my God! And here comes Ruben Guerrero. He's taken shots so far, and I'm not even going to highlight that comment. Let's move on. Greetings, brother. How you doing? Crawford's never fought a punch at 140 or 147. Here's something. There's a little bit of boxing wisdom for you guys here to take in, think about a little more, and then come back to me. Floyd Mayweather, when he heard that Crawford was going to fight Pacquiao, do you know what Floyd said to Crawford? He said, "Be careful of Pacquiao. That boy can punch." That's what Mayweather said when they were quick to try and make Crawford versus Pacquiao. And do you know what? You haven't heard about Crawford Pacquiao since. Why? It's like when I used to tell people about Luis Ortiz. If you have a guy who's got a boxing career and you look for his boxing career and he hasn't faced a puncher, you need to be asking yourself the question, why? Why is this guy not been around a single puncher in his career? When the guy doesn't fight punchers, it tells you something about a fighter. And this has gone back years and years and years and years. The old timers told me this stuff. Liam Williams is one of the most improved UK fighters and one of the most underrated. Well, okay. Wait. Hold on. Okay. How many guys can you pull off the top of your head that Liam Williams fought? God, yeah, he's world class. See, you got to be careful when you talk about these fighters. Liam Williams looks good at his level, but Liam Williams against some of the top guys, I don't know. He looks good for what he does at the level he's at. And if you keep him in that bubble, he'll always look world class. And Frank's done a good job with that, as he always does. But outside that bubble, I ain't so sure how good Liam Williams is. We've seen it all before. And I just don't want to get hoodwinked. But I do think that Liam Williams is a problem. I just don't know how much of a problem he is. In the case of Lomachenko, I think we found out more about the limitation of Lomachenko than Teofimo being an all-time great. Yeah, well, I think Lomachenko was worried about the power. That's what I thought it is. That's what I thought it was. To be fair, there wasn't a belt hold 140 who was a puncher. Oh my god, here we go. Skipping forward, skipping on. Crawford Chin is untested wall. All it takes is one. All it takes is one of those Brook punches. I tell you what, it's not a bad bet to stick 20 quid on against Brook beating Crawford. 20 quid ain't bad. Yeah, you stick 50 quid on it. Do you know why? Because the thing is, if Brook lands that right hand, but then again, you ask yourself the question. The only thing about Brook is, I mean, they say he's a power punching, but really, how big a power puncher is Kell Brook? I mean, he knocks out guys at C level, D level, but is he an A-class puncher? I mean, as I said, if you look at Brook and you look at Yard, they punch the same way. If I was training Brook, I'd be saying, listen, when you fight Crawford, I want you hit him with 2s and 3s, 3s and 4s. Whatever you've been throwing in the past, you need to throw more of. And when you hit the guy with one shot and you hurt him, 3 and 4, straight on him. And not just one uppercut and then another. He should not be... The good thing about Brook, he shouldn't be worried about Crawford in terms of power because he's fought Golovkin. He's moved up 2 weight divisions. And he went and fought Golovkin. So that should be a great experience. And he's fought Spence. Brook is going to give us a good indication of who he thinks will win between Spence and Crawford. Now, the other thing, while I'm at it, again, this story that's coming out now about Spence versus Canelo, how long have we been telling you about this? We brought it to you live, an exclusive with Derek, what the guy's name? Derek James, the trainer of Errol Spence and Jamel Charlo. He told us that there's potential Canelo moving to PBC. And he told us that Spence versus Canelo is a fight that's realistic and can be made. Brook Crawford is closer to a 50-50 fight than people think. People forget that this is the same man that hurt GGG 4 times in their fight and as well got a well-earned victory over Sean Porter. I didn't think he beat Sean Porter. Personally, I didn't think he beat Sean Porter. I thought it was a close fight, but I don't. If it's that close, you can't give it to the challenger. I thought Brook was beaten by Porter. By not much, but I thought he beat him. But that was just my opinion. Brook didn't have 2 eye sockets when he hurt Golovkin. Good point. I think Kell Brook was mismanaged for a lot of his career. Here you have a man that was a great timing, great inside game, absent for many UK fighters that use European style and great combos. Yes. Which tells me Matchroom haven't got a clue, or whoever their matchmaker is hasn't got a clue. I don't. But then you also have to ask yourself the question: is it Matchroom or is it the managers? So then you've got to ask, if he's mismanaged, who's been managing him? His father's been managing him. So is it his dad or is it Matchroom? I don't know which one. Between the two of them, they don't know how to manage a career. That's clear. It was about money grabs. It's not. They don't know how to manage a career. Honestly. Here we go. Sky in a tough position because Eddie's putting on so many pay-per-views next few weeks. They're in a tough position. So Saunders versus Murray is justifiable. I mean, you do talk some absolute shite, Ruben. Absolute shite you talk. Let's see here. Rather watch another man in bed with my missus than Murray Saunders. I'd love Murray to do the job. I really would. I like Brook's uppercuts, so do I. Hello, chap. Hey, how you doing, Tosin? Hope you're well. Derek. That's all I've been doing the last couple of days, just worrying, going, Derek. People look at me strangely. Where are you, Derek? He sounds like a Dalek, doesn't he? He sounds like something out of Doctor Who. Derek. Sorry. Mario's always been a nearly man that never quite did enough when he was in his peak. Yeah, Saunders destroys nobody. He struggled against the werewolf, didn't he? Wolverine. He struggled against that last fight he had. If you're talking about him, yeah. Let's see what's going on, man. Let's see what's going on here. This stupid mouse is playing up with me. I'd pick Pacquiao to beat Crawford now, to be honest. I'd pick him as well, to be honest. I wouldn't shy away from that point at all. I definitely agree with you there. Manny got better with age. He beats Thurman, who I am a big fan of, convincingly. No. One, Keith Thurman has been injured for so long, right? Keith Thurman has, and I know Thurman from the back in the day, as people know on this channel, back in the day. Now it's payday Thurman. That's what it is. Keith, payday Thurman. Just looking for a payday. When he fought Pacquiao, that was payday Thurman. Just trying to make as much money as possible. At this point in time, and that's not a bad thing. You just got to see it for what it is. Keith is just looking for a big fight to make money. He don't want no small fights because he feels he's elite. So is he right to think that way? Well, it's not my business, but he's payday Thurman. Since he got married, he's become payday Thurman. Believe that. It's like Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather, and then there was Money Mayweather. Well, now you've had one-time Thurman, and now you've got payday Thurman. Just understand it. It's just about the payday. That's all it is. England wants no part of Ruben. I've just fed up on the. I've just had enough. So when he talks crap, I just tell him straight now. I'm fed up. Let's see. We got. Indogo beat a washed-up Burns. He's been destroyed by everybody at elite level. Okay. I'll agree at 147. His resume's been weak. Resume. His resume is better at what is 147 or 140. Khan and Horn are better wins than Postel and Indogo. Yep, I would agree with you there. Khan Brook has to happen. Now free agents. There we go. Hello, Eddie's not involved with the Brook fight, and he's putting on so many matchroom pay-per-views. Just shut out. Just shut up, Ruben. Just shut up. Just shut up. You're always an excuse maker. Just shut up. Okay. Hearn let Warren go. Warren built him up as a world champion. Hearn snatches him back. No loyalty. Well. Thurman will fight probably one or two times, then retire. Not really. I think his wife will push him back out there to fight again. Can Garcia upset Spence? Yes, he definitely can. I thought he could upset Spence before the accident. So, yes. Is Ruben on the Sky payroll? I don't know. And we've all had our suspicions about Ruben Carrera anyway. Anybody who uses a fake name can't really be trusted, can they? So I just got no tolerance for him anymore. Just the tolerance level's just gone. Here we go. Eddie will put Brook Khan on pay-per-view after this fight. Oh boy. Anyway, anybody want to talk some sense to me for the next 5 minutes? Derek. Does anybody want to talk to me about Derek and Usyk? Now, how funny would it be if Derek were to knock out Alexander Usyk? Oh dear. I tell you somebody, I'm saying it here right now. I'm saying it now, right? I am worried for Conor Benn's career. I am worried. You've heard me say it right here, right now. I am worried for Conor Benn's boxing career. If he stays at Matchroom, he won't be unbeaten much longer. You heard me say it here. Any FIFA tonight? FIFA? Hey, mate, just won the Pro Evolution, just won the Champions League with Arsenal. What do they do FIFA for? And he did the same with King Galahad when he fought Warrington. Yeah, just listen, all you have to do is just see the man for what he is. See the man for what he is and just accept it. This is what he is. I don't know. Some people that tune in here and listen, they take Eddie Hearn as their Lord and Savior. You have to understand it. Eddie Hearn is like a cult. Like, they've got the book, they've got the figurine, they've got the T-shirt. He's like, people, there's like a Matchroom Bible. And no matter what Eddie Hearn does, it's brilliant. It's great. It's fantastic. Well, I'm sorry, I don't subscribe to that. Sorry. Yeah, he may lose his next fight. LOL, Eddie already rubbing his hands, waiting to throw Conor in with a wolf. Porter could knock out Formella and Ben is fighting him. LOL. There you go. Chisora gets knocked out for me. Yes. Derek! I don't know about that. It depends how highly you rate Usyk, and I don't know. He didn't look great against Chaz Witherspoon, and Chaz Witherspoon was on, like, I don't know what Chaz Witherspoon was doing, but that performance did not. That performance against Chaz Witherspoon and his 3 previous performances does not equal him knocking Derek Chisora out. It doesn't. It just equals. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Any gaming tonight, then, my friend? I just said to you, we just won. Usyk on points, possibly. Did you see any of the fights from last night? No. Usyk on points. Nigel was better after the Watson loss. Yeah, you make that point. That's a valid point. Okay? That's a valid point. But you know what I've realized with fathers and sons, right? And I think what the link might be why they're not as successful as their fathers. Their fathers were the pioneers. The fathers were the ones that got up in the morning. They didn't have anyone to look to. They're the fathers. So they were the genesis. They were the beginning. They were the gene. They were the ones that blood, sweat, and tears. They went and did it. They went and did it. They went and achieved it. They went and they set the road for their sons to come along and to overtake them. But what happens is the son doesn't overtake. The son usually just doesn't have to struggle the same way. Doesn't have to go through the same things his dad went through. And that's why I don't think they make father and son relation. Have you known one father world champion that son's been better than? Probably the only one you really think about is Floyd Mayweather and his dad. Probably that one is a rarity. Ingram looking like he's coming back. If YouTube is a fighter, Ingram has decided to grab a bag and make some moves. Wonder about the pay-per-view. Ingram Logan Paul. Interesting. Most struggle in poverty with determination to get out of that shit. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. So these guys, these youngsters that are coming through, no disrespect to any of them, I just think they've had very much privilege. If you get what I'm saying, they've had the privilege of their son, their fathers backing them. So their fathers didn't have you could have a boxing career if you want one, because I did it. No, it's not a case of that. Their dad's like, you know what? This is what I've got. This is what I've got to deal with. This is the shit I've got to deal with. You know what I mean? There ain't nobody supporting me. I've got to go and do it myself. So there's that motivation and that drive that I don't think that none of these fighters, young fighters, have got. I just don't. I mean, you think about it. When Ben started his career, was he sponsored by JG Sports? Did he have an Instagram account? Did he have a Twitter account? Did he have a Facebook account? Did he have a YouTube channel? Nah. Them boys, them men, them were real men back in the day. Do you understand? So there's a lot different. Oh my God. Mayweather had troubled childhood despite his dad being a pro boxer, though. He didn't have a silver spoon, probably plays part. Yeah. Here we go. This is why I say that Ruben is just it's full of shit. Look, he says, Costa Tzu's son. Costa Tzu's son will never be as good as Costa Tzu. Tell you now, he'll never be as good as Costa Tzu. I'm telling you now, point blank. Well, first of all, he's going to have to beat a guy like Zab Judah. Is he doing that? No, sir. Not happening. Not happening. I rate Usyk high. Again, will be an example of better opponent, the better Usyk. Both Peter Fury and John Fury, very knowledgeable guys, have said how dangerous Usyk is during interviews also. Listen, well, they can say what they like, and I appreciate what they like, but I can tell you from the guy who trained Usyk. So you can take John Fury and you can have Peter Fury. I can tell you from the perspective of being closer to the action with James Ali Bashir, right? And that is a lot closer. So that's nice to hear what Peter Fury and John Fury say. And that's nice, and respect to both Peter and John for that. But I don't think Usyk is improving, and I'm telling you that I don't think Usyk's improving. I think he's regressing. I don't think there's anyone in his camp to improve him. I think Usyk is doing his own thing. I don't think Usyk's improving as a fighter. I really don't. The guy didn't know what weight he wanted to come in at. There were rumors of him in camp talking about him. Not sure if he felt he was too light when he fought Chaz Witherspoon. So what's he going to do when he fights in this fight? Is he going to bulk up in weight when he fights Derek? If he bulks up in weight and he fights Derek and he's heavier, then his mobility might not be the same. If his mobility is not the same, then what you've got is a guy that can't move as quickly, and then a guy that Derek can track down. Again, Derek Chisora, a guy I've watched spar big guys. I watched him spar in the preparation to the I think twice workout. I saw him work out before he fought Hay. I was there watching him, literally ringside watching him spar against a cruiserweight then, and I watched Derek again working out, preparing for the Hay fight, and then I saw Derek up close again when there was what's the guy's name now? Ustinov and Vac, that they were in England, in London, and they were training with Chisora. That's where Chisora ended his thumb, and that's where that's where that fight got postponed with Chisora. So let me explain something to you, right? This fight is Usyk further declining. I don't care what anybody tells me. He's declining. He's not a guy that's on the improvement. He's in the decline. And who's going to train him? Usyk's now fighting more with his face. You've got to look at boxing dynamics. He's fighting more with his face than he is with his feet. When he was under Bashir, and he said, well, you know, you're talking about Bashir. The facts are the facts. When he fought against Glowacki, or Glozvaki, or whatever you want to call him, when he fought him to win the WBO title, he moved around the ring gracefully. He used his footwork. And if you watch the fight he's had since then and Bashir's left him, the proof is in the pudding. Watch the videos yourself. Usyk's getting hit with a whole lot more punches. So he's not the fight he had when he fought Glowacki. And that's your career eroding. That's you as a fighter going backwards. Same with Klitschko. When Klitschko was with Emmanuel Stewart, there were certain things they did. When Emmanuel Stewart left Klitschko, or when Emmanuel Stewart passed away, Klitschko was never the same fighter. And steadily along the years, he hasn't improved his skills. He's gone backwards. So I'm not asking you all that. I'm telling you that because of what I know. So, you know, everyone's like, oh yeah, what Usyk did in the amateurs. You know how many years ago those amateurs were? How many injuries Usyk's had since then? So it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be interesting what Usyk turns up on a night. Is Derek Chisora getting better? What I would say is Derek Chisora is a limited fighter. And what's happening with Derek is that they're squeezing like a sponge, squeezing every ounce out of Derek now, which is what he didn't do earlier in his career. Yeah, but that's because Bash has a way of speaking and a way of being that was pretty confrontational to Vladimir's way of thinking. That's what I think. Losing that elite level trainer has to have an effect on fight. Of course it does. Of course it does. So nobody can tell me Usyk has gotten better. Okay, Usyk's gotten better since he's left Bashir. 1, 2. And you show me the performances that have been spectacular of Usyk. Look at Evander Holyfield when he moved from cruiserweight to heavyweight. Look at David Haye when he moved from cruiserweight to heavyweight. Evander Holyfield for Rodriguez knocked him spark out. Clean. Rodriguez on the cameras looking like this. I remember watching it on TV live in the UK, watching that. Then Holyfield knocked Rodriguez out. Look at David Haye when he moved into the heavyweight division, where he knocked out that, I can't remember what his name was. He moved to heavyweight for one fight. But you can see the power there. And then you look at Usyk against his fight against Chaz Witherspoon. Then he was going to fight. Then he was going to fight that Tyrone Sprong. He was going to fight Sprong. That fight didn't happen. Then he was going to fight Takam. That fight was going to happen twice. They didn't want the Takam fight. They didn't want the Takam fight. So looking for some easy fight. Now they're having to fight Chisora. Now I wonder if Chisora was a fight that was they wanted originally or not. I wonder. Thing is, Chisora is always capable of another Kabayel performance. Imagine that on pay-per-view. Well, listen. Kabayel, you all don't know a good boxer. Kabayel is one of the best heavyweights in the world, and I'm putting my money on that. Kabayel is one of the best heavyweights in the world today. Good size heavyweight, good jab, good boxing ability, good chin, good stamina, good feet, good heavyweight. But people don't want to look at boxing and put things out because they're scared or they're worried about what other people say. I'm telling you, Ajit Kabayel is a good heavyweight. He's a good heavyweight, a very good heavyweight. And I'm putting my name behind that guy, Ajit Kabayel. Rate him. Not because, the Fury fights come up. I rate Ajit Kabayel. Look at when Chisora hit Kabayel with his best shot. Overhand right. Boom on Kabayel. And Kabayel is still there. That's what you got to look at. And he beat Derek Chisora easy. But Kabayel's not good enough. Fury beats Kabayel easy. And Fury's world class. Fury beats Chisora hands down, and it's world class. Come on. Yeah, the Wanty Barrett fight. Breedis wasn't even serious about heavyweight move, went down and to cruiserweight. Breedis is Breedis is another one. I've got more faith in Breedis than I do in Usyk. Yeah, John Ruiz fight. Look at it. Haye came out against John Ruiz. Bam, dropped him in the first round. Yeah, Monty Barrett. Yeah, he didn't fight Monty Barrett in his first fight. He fought a European guy, wasn't it? He moved up to heavyweight to fight a European guy. I think he might be East European, might be Russian or Ukrainian, something like that. And he blew him out in a round. I can't remember the guy. If somebody can box like that fight, I'd really appreciate it. And then he came back down to cruiserweight to fight. Is it Enzo Macronelli? Yeah, Haye was playing around with the weights. He moved up, knocked a guy out, and he came back down to fight a big fight. And then he went and fought in heavyweight. So Ingram, you think Usyk's skills are on a downward slant since his move up to heavyweight from cruiserweight? No, I'm saying that since he's left Bashir, I believe his skills have moved backwards. He's not progressed. I think he's regressed. You see, it's like this. If you're not adding, and this is more coaching theory now, or coaching practice. If I'm coaching a boxer to just go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and that's all I'm teaching them to do, and you're not adding to that, then you're getting your success doing 1, 2, 1, 2, which is great, but you're not adding to that. And then you've got a trainer that teaches you 1, 2, 3, right? He's teaching you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? He's taught you that, and you spend time actually going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you suddenly say, "I've learned enough. I've had enough." You cut that relationship, and then from going 6, you're going 4, 3, and then you end up going to 1, 2. That you've become pretty basic. So Usyk's skill and talent has gone back to what he's doing in the amateur days, and he's relying heavily on what he did in the amateur day to what he's doing now. That's what I see with Usyk. And he is getting hit more since he was Bashir. So put that in, add that, plus with the injuries Usyk's got, plus with that whack performance against Chaz Witherspoon, and Chisora trying to get every ounce of the limited skill he's got, it makes for an interesting fight. It makes for an interesting fight. If Usyk is what everyone says he is, then according to some of you in here, he should blow Chisora out. He should knock Chisora out in the first round. He should, but I don't see it that way. I just want to know what happens. See, but Chisora is his own worst nightmare, because Chisora, you know when Chisora's going to get knocked out in a fight? When he starts winging punches and missing. Usyk's got to make Chisora miss and make him pay. And once Usyk starts making Chisora miss and making him pay, that's when you know Chisora's getting knocked out, because he misses with big, huge shots. He misses, punches himself out, and that's why I knew he was going to get knocked out by Dillian Whyte, and he did, flat. Let's see what's going on here. I swear, this show's gone a little longer than I wanted it to go on, because I was only going to do 15 minutes. He is getting hit more. It's very true. And yes, the gentleman's name was Thomas Bozen. Yeah, came in heavyweight, blew him out in a round. Yes. And what are your thoughts on RJJ versus Mike Tyson? I think with 15 years out of the ring, quitting twice in the ring, and years of substance abuse and activity, RJ stops him inside the distance. Yeah? Well, I'll tell you what I think. You've got a very valid point there. As long as RJ doesn't get hit on the chin. As long as Roy Jones Jr. don't get hit on the chin, that seems pretty good. But it's that punching power is what I'm looking at there. It's that punching power. But you've got a valid point there. I definitely like the sound of that. Definitely like the sound of that. The Tyson in front of us in the 2000s had little head movement, dangerous for rounds 1 and 2. Yeah, I think all he needs is one round or two rounds. I'm giving Chisora a chance for the KO. But does Usyk have enough muscle in his shots to make Chisora pay? That's the question. We just have to look back at the Chaz Witherspoon fight again to see. Subscribe to his channel. Yes, please do. Del Boy said he's brought in Gashi for sparring. Hope to get used to southpaw movers. Listen. I used to say this a lot. Whether you're southpaw or you're orthodox. I used to say this for cricket. Whether you're left-handed or you're right-handed for the stumps. Ultimately, the body's the body. The body's not southpaw. The body's not orthodox. So if I'm Derek Chisora, if I'm team Chisora, I say, forget all that stuff. You're not suddenly going to learn how to outbox or box southpaws in a 6-week camp. That's not going to happen. Not an elite southpaw. So I tell Derek this: get close, get past the jab, and just work that boy's body. Work that boy's body. He got dropped in the amateurs by Bwtm. So work that boy's body. Work his body. Work him for the first 6. Just get close. Cross arm defense. Bob and weave. Get close to Usyk. Work his body. Work his body. Work his body. First 6. Work his body. And as he starts to slow, then start to throw the overhand right. Work his body. Behind. Just sit cross arm defense. Inside. Work by boom, 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 boom. Dig him. Rough him up on the inside. And if Usyk can hurt Chisora, can he put together the punches to finish him? That's the issue. What type of finish Usyk at a heavyweight? Don't know. But when you talk about hurting Chisora, you're picking Rory Jones for the upset. Okay. But when you're picking Chisora, when you talk about Chisora hurting Chisora's been hurt by a few guys in his career, you know. But he's come from one, but he's been stung by a lot of guys. Roy Jones fights Joshua next year if he beats Tyson. I wouldn't put it past. Chisora needs to get up in his face, get up close and personal, smash the body with uppercuts and lean on him. You said it, Ingram. Absolutely. Here comes Ruben. Your only stoppage I see from Usyk is Delbert gassing late. Ref stopping it with too many unanswered punches. Well. Referees. Let me be honest with you. If Usyk threw 2 punches, right, the referee could come in and stop it, and we get Usyk Chisora rematch. Anything's possible. For Usyk to win, he needs to use a crossbar defense. Look at Miga Cotto defense for some note. Usyk, are you sure Usyk? Are you sure that's not Chisora you're talking? Yeah, this show's gone on way much longer. This show was meant to be a 20-minute show. Yeah, so let me just yeah. Right, I think we're good. Thank you so much as always. I really appreciate you. Like and subscribe. Oh, Ruben and Cameron, when you get a chance and you watch the video, let me know what your thoughts are on this Arsenal side that just won the Champions League or the European Cup. How do you think I've done for my second season? Didn't do too well in the league in the end. I couldn't be bothered in the end, to be honest. And we didn't do too well in the FA Cup, but we were FA Cup champions the year before. Yes, I will do some gaming, but I've got a very busy night tonight from 11 p.m. But yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna grab something to eat and get an hour of gaming in now. Yeah, so I've got a European Cup final to play, and I've also got Brazil in the international championships, so I can get a nice little cup with Brazil. That'd be nice. So yeah, I'm doing an international cup now with Brazil, and then I continue with my Arsenal career. Busy night, ladies coming over? Not quite. Chinese is here. Yeah, I need to get my own. I think I'll have maybe Chinese tonight. I'm not sure. I'm definitely going to have to get some food in now. Right, so I'll be on shortly doing the old gaming. Sayonara. Peace out. See you soon. Take care.